look after him, make sure that we do it right and breaking him in. But he's ready to go.
What are your expectations as you guys get ready to start practices for training camp tomorrow?
What are my expectations? Well, we want to make sure and pick up where we left off. And so we're going to go back and make sure that we capture all of the installation that we did and the kind of the mode that we are in and the mentality that we are in, and then move from there. I don't want to take any steps back, in that regard. So we'll go back to what we installed. And then my expectations are about as high as they can get. There's no limit. We're going for it. We're going to see how far we can take our club, and we're going to do it one step at a time.
Yo, Raider Nation, what's good, Silver and Black Faithful? Buckle up, because we're diving into some electrifying Las Vegas Raiders news that's got me absolutely jacked. The 2025 season is right around the corner, and our new head coach, the legendary Pete Carroll, is dropping some serious heat about what's coming. Picture this: a franchise that's been starving for glory, coming off a rough 4-13 season, now led by Super Bowl champ who's ready to flip the script. Can you feel the energy? Are we about to witness a Raiders renaissance? Let's unpack this wild ride, break down Carroll's bold predictions, and figure out if our Raiders are playoff bound in 2025. Stick with me, because this is going to be a banger. So what's the buzz? Pete Carroll, the 73-year-old coaching icon, just set the NFL world on fire at the Raiders training camp kickoff in Henderson, Nevada, on July 22, 2025. When reporters asked him about his expectations, he didn't just answer. He dropped the mic. "We gotta win a ton," he told the press, as quoted by Vincent Bonsignori. "I've been winning 10 games a year for 20 years or something. We're gonna win a bunch, and I don't care who hears that." Oh man, that's the kind of fire we've been craving in Las Vegas. Carroll's not here to play small. He's got his eyes on a massive turnaround. But can he really take a team that hasn't sniffed the playoffs since 2021 and make them contenders in the brutal AFC West? Let's dig into why this matters and what's at stake. What do you think, nation? Is Carroll's confidence contagious? Or is he setting the bar too high? Drop your thoughts in the comments. First off, let's talk about why this moment is huge for the Las Vegas Raiders. For years, we've been stuck in a rough patch. Only one playoff appearance since moving from Oakland in 2020, and that 4-13 disaster last season had us all questioning what's next. Enter Pete Carroll, a guy who's been there, done that, and won it all. This isn't just any coach. This is the man who turned USC into a college football dynasty with 2 national championships and led the Seattle Seahawks to a Super Bowl 48 blowout. His track record screams success. 10-plus wins in 8 of his 14 seasons with Seattle, 5 NFC West titles, and a 137-89-1 regular season record. That's the kind of resume that makes you sit up and listen. But here's the kicker. At 73, Carroll's the oldest head coach in NFL history, and he's walking into a franchise that hasn't won a playoff game since 2002. The pressure's on, and the AFC West, stacked with powerhouses like the Chiefs, Chargers, and Broncos, isn't going to make it easy. Can Carroll's relentless positivity and always compete mantra spark a culture shift in Vegas? Let me hear your take, Raider Nation. Now, let's get real about the challenge ahead. The Raiders are coming off a brutal 2024, where they cycled through quarterbacks like Gardner Minshew II, Aiden O'Connell, and Desmond Ridder, with no consistency and a mid-season coaching staff shakeup. But Carroll's not phased. He's got a plan, and it starts with a familiar face. Geno Smith, his former Seahawks QB, now leading the Raiders' offense after a blockbuster trade. Add in rookie running back Ashton, the Heisman Trophy runner-up drafted in 2025, and a monster like Max Crosby locked in with a $106.5 million extension, and you've got some serious firepower. Carroll's already setting a tone, turning training camp into a high-energy circus, wrestling with linemen, racing defensive backs, and hyping up players like a kid at recess. As all-pro punter A.J. Cole put it, he doesn't have a bad day. It's infectious energy. But with a tough schedule, including 6 games against 2024 playoff teams, can this revamped roster deliver the ton of wins Carroll's promising? Are you buying this hype? Or is it too soon to dream big? Hit the comments and let's talk. All right, Raider Nation, Let's zoom in on what Pete Carroll's bringing to the table and why it's got us so pumped. This guy's a culture builder, and he's already shaking things up in Vegas. At training camp, he's not just coaching, he's creating a vibe. Picture him sneaking up on 6'6" offensive lineman Thayer Munford Jr. for a mock wrestling match, or challenging 284-pound rookie Tonka Hemingway to a showdown. This is Pete Carroll at 73, still out here acting like he's 30, and the players are eating it up. Tight end Brock Bowers, coming off a stellar rookie year, is all in, saying he's focused on elevating everything with Carroll's guidance. The Raiders' new GM, John Spytek, is also a key piece, bringing his Tampa Bay Super Bowl experience to build a roster that's ready to compete now, not later. Carroll's got a history of quick turnarounds. USC went from 6-6 to 11-2 in his second year, and Seattle hit the playoffs in his first. But the AFC West is a gauntlet, with Kansas City's Patrick Mahomes, Denver's elite defense, and a Chargers team that's only getting better under Jim Harbaugh. Can Carroll's magic work this fast in Vegas? What's the one thing you think the Raiders need to make the playoffs? Let's hear it below. Here's where it gets spicy. Carroll's not just talking a big game. He's got a plan to back it up. The Raiders' 2025 schedule isn't a cakewalk. Tied for the 16th toughest in the NFL, with 9 road games and those brutal AFC West matchups. But there's hope. Outside of their division, they face only 3 playoff teams from 2024: the Commanders, Texans, and Eagles. Carroll's leaning on his run-heavy, defense-first philosophy, with jeanty and Bowers as offensive weapons and Crosby anchoring a fierce D-line. Defensive end Malcolm Kuntz is back from a torn ACL, and while Christian Wilkins' recovery from a broken foot is a question mark, Carroll's confident they'll manage. He's also got Chip Kelly as offensive coordinator, bringing a fresh spark to the playbook. The vibe at camp is electric. Players are showing up at 5 a.m., hyped to work, and Carroll's compete mantra is everywhere. As he put it, you can't have a great team without great teammates. But with the Chiefs, Chargers, and Broncos all coming off playoff runs, is a 10-win season realistic, or is 7-9 wins a safer bet? Check out the schedule on Raiders.com and tell me which game you're most hyped for. Now, let's talk expectations versus reality. Carroll's bold claim of winning a ton has Raider Nation buzzing, but let's break it down. NFL scout Brent Sobleski predicted a 10-7 record, calling Carroll the second most likely new head coach to succeed in 2025. That's huge for a team that hasn't hit double-digit wins since 2021's 10-7 campaign. Bookmakers are setting the Raiders' win total at 7.5, favoring the over, which means they see improvement coming. Carroll's track record backs this up. Only 4 of his 18 NFL seasons ended with fewer than 8 wins. But the Raiders' recent history is a tough pill. Just 2 10-win seasons in the last 2 decades, and that 4-13 flop in 2024 led to Antonio Pierce's exit. Carroll's got the tools: Geno Smith's experience, jeanty's explosiveness, and a defense led by Crosby. But the AFC West is unforgiving. A 9-8 finish, as predicted by SI.com's Hondo Carpenter, feels like a solid target, setting a foundation for future glory. What's your prediction for the Raiders' record? Drop in the comments, and let's see who nails it. The big question is, can Pete Carroll make the Raiders playoff contenders in 2025? He's not here to rebuild. He's here to win now. As Sobleski put it, just win, baby, and now. The Raiders' last playoff win was in 2002, and Raider Nation is starving for a return to those glory days. Carroll's already got the team believing, with players like Jackson Powers-Johnson saying his energy is infectious. The schedule gives them a shot. Early games against a rebuilding Patriots team and a winnable home opener against the Chargers on Monday Night Football could set the tone. But those late-season clashes with the Chiefs, Eagles, and Texans will test their mettle. Carroll's history of taking teams to the postseason, 12 of 18 seasons as an NFL head coach, gives us hope, but the Raiders need to stay healthy and execute. If Geno Smith can stay steady and the defense steps up, we could be talking wildcard berth. Are you feeling playoff vibes? Or is this a stepping stone season? Let's debate it below. Raider Nation, this is where the rubber meets the road. Pete Carroll's not just bringing a playbook, he's bringing a mindset. His always compete philosophy, honed over decades at USC and Seattle, is already transforming the Raiders' culture. Players are buying in, from Max Crosby's relentless drive to Brock Bowers' hunger to level up. Carroll's not shying away from the spotlight, saying, "I wish I could guarantee it," when talking about his sky-high expectations. That's the kind of swagger we've missed in Vegas. But it's not just talk. Carroll's got a staff stacked with experience, like Chip Kelly and Patrick Graham, and a GM in Spytech who knows how to build a winner. The Raiders' offseason moves, trading for Smith, drafting Jeanty, extending Crosby, show they're all in. Yet, the AFC West's a beast, and injuries or inconsistency could derail the hype. What's the one player you think will be the X factor for the Raiders this season? Hit the comments, and let's get this conversation rolling. Let's wrap this up with a look at what's next. The Raiders kick off their 2025 campaign against the Patriots, a team with their own new coach in Mike Vrabel and a familiar face in ex-Raiders OC Josh McDaniels. It's a chance for Carroll to make a statement right out of the gate. Then comes a primetime showdown with the Chargers at Allegiant Stadium, where a raucous Raider Nation can give the silver and black a boost. Carroll's already got the team fired up, with players saying they're excited to show up every day. As he put it, "We've got to find ourselves, and that needs to be guided well." If the Raiders can start strong and carry that momentum, we could be looking at a season that changes the narrative. But it's up to us, Raider Nation, to bring the energy too. What's your bold prediction for Week 1? Drop it below, and let's keep the hype alive. Yo, Raider Nation, that's the scoop on Pete Carroll's massive expectations for our Las Vegas Raiders in 2025. This season feels different, doesn't it? With Carroll's fire, Geno's leadership, and a roster ready to compete, we might just shock the NFL. But I want to hear from you. What's got you most excited about this team? Are we making the playoffs? Or is Carroll's talk too bold? Smash that like button if you're all in for the silver and black. Drop your hottest takes in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss an update on our Raiders. Share this video with your fellow fans. And let's get Allegiant Stadium rocking. Until next time, keep the faith, nation. Raiders for life.